Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi Showbie on the 14th of April, 2020. 14th of April. We're halfway through. Pretty much. We're halfway through April. Goodness, how did that happen? A minute ago, it was April the 1st, and I was thinking, wait, this lockdown business, this has been a bit of a joke, hasn't it? Hasn't it? Hasn't it? This is a joke. 14 days later, and here we are, 13 days later, all right, who's counting? 13 days later, here we are, and we're still in this situation, and we're all pulling our hair out. Yes, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, it's lovely to see you. Thank you very, 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 very much for joining me today. Tonight is film night. Yes, it's a night at the movies. As you can see, I've got the projector here all loaded up and spliced up with the 16mm films. All ready to show you. We've got quite a few videos to get through tonight on tonight's show, which is hopefully going to be a blast. Lots of interesting ones from different people, which is lovely. And I've got a whole list of them here so that I don't forget. Oh, nice. Yes, 'tis nice. Hello to Trevor Han. Hello to Steve G. Hello to Jeff Kellerson. Where are you, Jeff? Where are you? What part of America are you? Travelling across... I've got medical supplies. I've got farm liquid. Yeah, we want to know where Jeff is. Robert Baxter, good evening to you. Ron Langley. Fiona Cooper, days of yours. Howdy, folks. It's Tuesday already. I know. Andy Stacey, evening to you. Ed Loud. The Pearl and Dean adverts. Do you remember the Pearl and Dean intermission at the cinema? They were great. Turbo Stream, good evening to you, young Adrian there. Mystic Hair, good evening. It's like Sunday. Yes, every day's the same, isn't it? Every day. Oh my God, every day is the same day. Barry Stevens, hello, Vobanauts, he says. Hello to you, Barry. Lovely to see you there. Mike Dixon, time flies when you're having fun. Were you having fun? Do you know, I've spent 47 minutes to a car insurance company because I had a piece of paper come through this morning from some credit company, and it said, oh yes, if you don't contact us, we're going to charge you £10 to remind you. You've got to sign the agreement. And I thought, well, I've never heard you before, but they had the name of my insurance company on, you see, my car insurance. And I thought, hello, this looks like a scam. So I rang them up this evening, and I was on the phone 47 minutes before I got through. Then I got through to some woman on a crackly line, and she was clearly working from home instead of being in the call centre, and she didn't have a very good signal. And yeah, hello, I want to just look at this because I think you're a scam, and I just want to check. Well, if you could just... what? I'm sorry, I can't... You're breaking up. Every 2 seconds, you're breaking up. Yeah, no, but you see, the thing is, I've been with this insurance company for about 12 years, mate. 12 bloody long years. I pay you lots of money. And now all of a sudden I get this thing demanding I sign an agreement with you. I've never seen or heard of you before. I don't know what it's all about. And I think it's a scam. Well, sign the agreement. What? No, listen, look, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. How was your... Please, would you rate your call with da-da-da-dum? How did I feel about it? And then the next minute, it's off. They phone off. Bink. I thought, well, do you know what? I'm going to bloody change. I'm going to change my car insurance. I'm not going to be treated like that, you know? I'm just a man on a screen. I'm not even human. I'm just a two-dimensional person on a screen peering at you. That's what I am. And that's all they seem to care about. Anyway, good evening. Lovely to see you. Thank you very much. No, I'm not in a temper. I'm not in a temper! Who said I was in a temper? I'm not in a temper. I've told you. Sorry about... I'm not in a temper to you either. You can get up in a minute. Sorry about the bloodied nose. Anyway, that's my children dealt with. It's very nice to see you. Welcome to the Vobes Show. Another mayhem and chaos sort of thing. Got that off my chest. We have got a lot of things to get through tonight. So if you want to call me. If you want to call me. If you want to call me, you've got to call me now. If Richard and Fran are watching from Floating Your Boat, I did try to email you. They said they sent me a lovely video. But I haven't got it. I have not got it. I have looked everywhere. Oh, I didn't look in the spam. No, I did look in the spam. I emptied my spam. Wouldn't be in there. Sent it by WeTransfer, and it ain't arrived. But having said that, I have got a whole load of stuff. We've got stuff from Robert Croser, Barry Stevens. We've got one from Mark in Australia. We've got Richard McGowan. We've got Wendy Laurie. We've got Gabriel in Glastonbury. We have Turbo Stream, and we have Mike Dixon, to name but a few. And if you're not mentioned on there, I know Dave Ford has still sent me one which I have yet to get to. I realise that. But there's a lot of you. And hopefully, in due course, ladies and gentlemen, in due course, no, not Duke horse. That's get off your horse and drink your milk. That's how it goes, isn't it? Get off the old Duke. You know who I'm talking about, the Duke. What was he in them cowboy films? What was his name? The cowboy, the cowboy's cowboy. John. Oh, what's his name? John. No, not that one. John McDonald. No, John Denver. No, it wasn't John Denver. Johnny Depp. No, not Johnny Depp. John Wayne. Thank you. Yes, Wayne's World. John Wayne's World. Have you seen that film, John Wayne's World? No, I haven't either. But it's Mike Myers playing John Wayne on a horse, going. It's a horse laser. Yeah, okay. Chris Venables is there. Says, change insurance companies every year. They have no loyalty to anybody. No, absolutely. I'm going to change. in the morning. I'm going to ring up and give them a piece of my time. So there we are. No Philip and Mary Hammond in tonight. Oh, my goodness. Can somebody send out a search party? Wait a minute. Hang on. Philip? Mary? Where are you? No idea. I will wait. No, it's all right. You don't have to get up. You stay down there. So I had to smack him with his... He's got polyps in his nose. Not nice. Apparently, polyps are full of pus. Mark Seward says all these creative people are out in the landscape filming. Oh, yes, I dare say they are. Filming for taking over my job, really. Making my job a lot easier, I tell you, because it means I don't have to do it. Although I did go out. No, I went out of the house today with my camera. Yes, Turbo Stream says, I found a new admiration of Richard's efforts in making and editing videos after today. Oh, what a lovely man. He knows. Should we put him on first? Is he on first? Who's on first? What's on second? Where's on third? Robert Crow says, Dumpman is famous. Yes, apparently he's in the Evening Argus, isn't he? Ron Langley says they're all the money grabbers. Well, what's the point of having car insurance if we're all on lockdown? We can't drive anywhere. You might as well uninsure your car and save some money. Hey, savesomemoney.com, bom. That's what I would like to do. David Dickinson. Yes, he's not in insurance, is he? The Duke, him off David thingy. No, Duke as in... We've done that. John Wayne. We did that years ago. That was the idea anyway. Robert Baxter. Ah, lovely Robert Baxter. Robert Baxter says, I work with another truck driver called John Wayne, and he got some funny looks when he had to give his name to people, such as the police, if he was ever stopped. Yes. Imagine, though, if your name was Sterling Moss. Imagine that. Having to give your name to... Well, obviously, poor old Sterling Moss, he died recently, didn't he? God rest his soul. But imagine that. Who do you think you are? That used to be the old joke, didn't it? Who do you think you are when the policeman pulls you over? Sterling Moss? No. Richard Vobes, international one-eyed person. Don't you know? No, I don't know. John Wayne, otherwise known as Marion Morrison, his stage name was invented as John Wayne. Yes, Marion Morrison. He was the man who set up a chain of supermarkets in the United States. Didn't go down very well, but another bloke took a time machine, went back in time, set them up over here, and seemed to have done pretty well. Started up north, I believe, then came south and kept going. It's gone south for the winter. Turbo Stream, I get mine out of the way first, says Turbo Stream. Ooh, there's a thing. All right, well, let's go and do a video. Nobody's called me, so that's lucky. Blimey, that was a lot of luck. Philip Hammond says, hey, Julia, we signed in early. Mary is now known by her first name, Fiona. Okay, just a moment. Sorry, Mary, you're axed. Bring in Fiona. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We seem to have a slight problem with the seating out there in the cinema land. So is everybody all comfortable now? Are you all comfortable? You've got your tickets, got your popcorn, have you got your rickets? That's it, you got your rickets. You can put your spare head over there in a bag. It's putting people off. So that's all good. Mark Selwood says, shh, I went outside. Shush. I know it's not the thing to be done, but I sneaked out to film just in Roseland. Did you? Were you just in there in time? Or were you a bit late? Oh, dear. Right, okay. TurboStream wants to go first. Where is he? Down there at number 8. Down there at number 8, ladies and gentlemen. We're going into the... Stand by. Hold your horses. We're going into the Vobes video box. Bing! And there we are. We're in the Vobes video box. And TurboStream is... Oh, yes, TurboStream. This is exciting. This one, TurboStream. I'm glad you did this. I'm so thrilled because I enjoyed this very much. You go to Bourneville. Bourneville, a place of chocolate, as dark as can be, 80%. Bourneville. I may be getting my films mixed up there a little bit. Something about a dark chocolate lion that was lying to you. Yeah, no, that was Lion's Maid, wasn't it? Of course. Shelly. No, it's not mucking about. Oh, dear. Right, TurboStream. Here we go. Let's go to Bourneville with the lovely Adrian.
This is Adrian at TurboStream. I thought we'd go for a walk today, on our permitted daily walk around Bourneville. Well, this is Bourneville Green. So we're looking at the rest house. The little octagonal shaped building, which is pretty much on all the photographs you get at Bourneville Green. And there's benches around the outside of it where you can have a rest. And then a minute to the left of that, across the road, is the Bourneville Carillon, which is the bell tower of the Bourneville School. And then we're on Sycamore Road now. And this little parade of shops, that really hasn't changed all that much in all the time I've known it, in the 50 years that I've been in Birmingham. A very quaint little place, very much unchanged from the days of J.B. Priestley. And this is Selly Manor. This was originally moved from another part of the city. I think George Cadbury moved it. And then you sweep left, you've got Maple Road. Most of the streets around here are called from trees, so maple, sycamore, elm. It's really a lovely place to live. This is Maple Road. This is a typical Bourneville street. Tree lined, nice houses, quite quiet. These would have been the original houses that the Cadbury brothers built for the workers. They're quite grand, I must say.
Oh, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. There's a moment of unpreparedness there. I was just talking to a lovely bloke called Leroy, who's watching the show but can't sign in to the thing, and he just wanted to ring up. This is not me making this up. It's actually there. He's there on the screen. You can't see. It's actually there. Look, there he is. See, that's not Leroy. That's just a flat phone. They're new, a modern thing. But he just rang up. It's so weird. He rang up. He obviously waited for a video to start and gave me a call because he didn't want to appear on the air. But he just said, I was amazing and I'm doing a good job. So thank you so much, Leroy. That has made my day. And actually, I've just noticed on the screen, you've had an imposter. You've had an imposter, ladies and gentlemen, performing at this show. Just one moment. There you go. That's the Vobes that you love and like, isn't it? These are my ordinary everyday glasses. But these glasses are the ones that give me intelligence. They haven't worked. I'm taking them back to the National Archive at the end of the month. But yeah, no, thank you very much, Leroy. Isn't that nice? And now, not to take away at all by TurboStream, that was brilliant. That was Bourneville. And I want to go to Bourneville. Bourneville! Yeah, all right. Don't get up. So I want to go there to... Just one moment. The place where there's chocolate. Bourneville, the place where there's chocolate. Apparently, they haven't paid me to say that, but they ought to. £100,000 would be nice. Bourneville, yes, it looks beautiful, doesn't it? I would love to go there. J.B. Priestley wrote about it in his very infamous book. It's been read by millions of people. Here is a copy of it that we've been... one page a day we've been reading live, and JB Priestley went there. You can join me at 9:30 in the mornings. Yeah, 9:30 in the morgue. You can join me and I read a bit of JB Priestley's English journey, and he went to Bourneville 1933. He was either 19 or he was 33. We haven't worked out which, but you know, anyway, or maybe it took him the 19 years. It doesn't really matter. Kevin's Rambles is actually there. Kevin is there. I know people were worried that he'd gone on a runner, but he doesn't run. He just walks non-stop, never stops. He's walking this way and that way. When he comes into my house, he doesn't last long. It's straight through and off and over the hills and far away. So there we go. Andrew Norris says, great video, Leroy. No, it wasn't Leroy's video. It was Turbo Stream Adrian. Leroy is just a fan who's in... I say just. He is a fan. Give him proper status. He is a fan who rang up behind the scene. Occasionally people do that, you know. It's amazing. But that was Turbo Stream, and he was amazing. And thank you, Adrian, and thank you for your comment there about, you know, how tricky it is. I thought you did an amazing job. You did an amazing job with that, and it was so nice. Looking forward to you going into the Cadbury's factory and dipping your fingers in the chocolate so you can have... Cadbury's fingers. I nearly said Kit Kat then, but they're a different firm, aren't they? They're Nestle. Right, so we can take a phone call. Hang on a minute, I've got to get back into the phone call mode. If anyone wants to ring, we've got a lot of videos to go. So if you're sort of sitting there chewing your nails, I'm in an ahhing, shall I talk to Richard? Shall I not talk to Richard? Talk to Richard. Now's the time. When you see that race for the phone, race, dun 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 dun, get to the phone, dial up the number 0793474693979. Well, it's on the screen anyway. Do that, because as soon as it goes off the screen, phones go dead. The phone cools down from the, you know, the switchboard is melting, all that sort of rubbish. Jeff Kellison says, used to use the remote camera to show us the ants dancing on your floor. They're not in here. They're not in here. They're in the other room in my office. But yeah, that would have been. I can put. Do you know? I could take you. I haven't got a microphone on this. I haven't got a microphone, but I can. Hang on a minute. Just bear with me, caller. Look at this. I don't know what state the other room is. I mean, I could take... I don't want to unplug it, because if I unplug it, the chances are... I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared for this, Jeff. But it's possible I could take you on a quick tour, although I could actually make sure the rest of the house is working whilst the video is on, I suppose. I could do that. But you won't be able to hear anything, and I haven't got a microphone rigged up. That's not to say I couldn't have a microphone rigged up if I was really that way inclined. But I don't even know if the webcam... Oh, yeah, there's the webcam. It's kind of working. We could go on a vague tour of the Vobes. The trouble is, this is only about 15 feet. I don't know how far this will go. But anyway... I might just have to go and spruce the room up, you know, get the maid to polish it whilst we look at another video. Okay, so nobody's going to ring, fair enough. Sod you then. Right, let's see. Now, Robert Croser. Robert Croser's got a video that he sent yesterday, and he's meant to be shown. Is Robert out there? Yeah, Robert, there he is. The canal runs through the Bourneville. Is the canal full of chocolate? Is that what it is? And you go there with your eggs and you dip them in at Easter and you go like that. And what you get then is a load of shell, a raw egg covered in chocolate. Disgusting. Birmingham, not one of the greenest cities in the UK. Green spaces and trees. Sorry, Turbo Stream, for not crediting you. Quite right, Andrew. You should know better than that. Canals. Michael says, have you got ants in your pants? Yes, probably. Probably doing something to me. Mark Donny McLeod says, back in the room. Back in the room. Anyway, right, okay, house tour. Laura Riddle says, yeah. Well, when I say house tour, I mean, I might just poke it into the office and see if we can find an ant. We'll see if we can find an ant. If we can't find an ant, we might find a deck. Robert Croser has sent in a video. Let's go to the video box. And let's have a look. Where are you, Croser? There he is. This is Robert Croser. He made this video once before. I rejected it. I said, Robert, it's just no good. He said, why? He said, A, it's the wrong way round. You've done it vertical instead of horizontal. And B, there's too much wind. He said, oh, yes, Richard, put me over your knee and spank my bottom. I said, no, just go and make it again. And do you know what he did? He did this.
Good afternoon, Verbonauts. Where do you find me today? I love that. Anyway, this is a video that was too windy the other day, so we've decided to come back. We are allowed on lockdown to come down here because it's less than 5 minutes from where we live, which is up there. Anyway, looking back towards the village of Rockcliffe and the Red Cliffs, you might just be able to see. And if I pan round this way, up there is Castletown House that you might just be able to see through the trees. Castletown House was originally a castle, but it's been added to and built over and more or less demolished and rebuilt as that Palladian mansion up there. Now, I've taken photographs of that before, so I shan't do it again. Well, I will, because that's just me. Now, this is upstream here. That is my partner there, wandering around, probably looking a bit pissed off, to be honest with you, but hey ho. And this is a River Eden. There's no wind, just the birds. And if you listen closely, there is a woodpecker in there somewhere. I've seen a greater spotted woodpecker around here. We're walking upstream towards the mouth of the Solway Firth. We're not going to go that far today. Just wandering on from where I was the other week. Just pan round again. There we go, and over there is Old Sandsfield. And if you can see in the middle distance there, a large white building, that used to be an inn where the ferry and the ford used to be. Now that was for people travelling over the ferry. It wasn't really a ferry, it was a guy with a big rowing boat. That run until the 1950s, and I think soon after that closed as an inn. My father can just remember it being open when he used to come down here fishing. Likes his garden now. Isn't it peaceful? So we come into a little headland here. Just going to look ahead there. Isn't it marvellous, these mud flats? Certain times of the year there's Canada geese here, there's goosanders, there's egrets and swans. There is swans further downstream near the village. But here it's a bit deep. There is otters here. I've seen and filmed them myself. And there's deer, and there's semi-wild horses, owned by the Castletown estate, a local family. Very nice people, I've spoken to them a couple of times. Now we're just coming up to, on the map, it says Ringcairn. It's the remains of a small stone circle or tomb. There's not a lot left to see, I'm afraid, but I have it on good authority, it is prehistoric, as is this long, what looks like mound running into the distance there. That's prehistoric, or at least Middle Ages. This was to help, well, it's a flood bank really, but it didn't work. because it was always flooding around here. Just going to go upstream again. There's my partner in the distance there. It's my daughter. It's my first time my daughter's been kind of...
Well, there we are, the wonderful and lovely Robert Croser showing off another piece of delightful and delicious Cumbria. And how wonderful is that? Well done, sir. Thank you for sending that in. Thank you ever so much, actually, for going out and doing it a second time. I know it's a pain, isn't it, when you've done it once and then you realise there's a bit of an error. For example, tomorrow's video that I've got for you lined up, which is just another simple little thing, because obviously we don't have wonderful, exquisite countryside like that. It's slightly different down here in Worthing. I do go on my bicycle, and unfortunately, my recorder on the side was not working. It failed me miserably. And it started, and I must have brushed against it, turned it off. So the audio quality in tomorrow's video in the morning, you'll see, is a bit naff. As is indeed the whole video. But anyway, so now on to Vobes tours. Apparently, I can jump through hoops. Apparently, it is so that actually one can do some amazing things down here in Worthing with a little bit of jiggery pokery. Believe it or believe it not. So let us just come out of this little gadget gozy. Come back into the show. Now, don't ring for the moment because I won't be able to answer the phone. But that is the webcam, ladies and gentlemen. And very easily, I can show you. Bing! Hello, that's me. This is my back room. This is my back room. Here's a light. Look at that. There's a light shining down. This is the studio. As you see it, I sit in this back room, which is a mess. Over this side of the room. Yep. And at the back, you can obviously see all of these things. The wonderful... Neons. But we're going to just quickly take a minor tour. I think that's half man and half beast, isn't it? Well, that's me, half man, half beast. So we're going to just come through here. This is my hallway down there into my kitchen. I don't know how much of that you can see. It's a bit dark out here. A nice pair of nutmeg men's boot socks, which I bought from Morrison's for £4, reduced to £2.50. My son's bike down there in the corridor. Some lovely art here on the walls. The War of the Worlds there. And Laurel and Hardy over there. Over here we've got my lovely children. Billy, a long time ago. The lovely Julia, I said then. That's Georgie, nearly forgot her name, and Stanley. And then we come into my main room. And bear in mind this is at night time, and I put a microphone in here so that you can hear me, hopefully. This is my abode. This is my office, and you can see down there's my point the thing in the right direction. That's where I sit and do my editing. Hang on a minute. Let's just over here, by the way. Some books, more books, lots of books. Now, sorry about making you. There we are. It's probably a bit crooked at the moment. Chuck a bit of light on there. So this is where I sit and edit. Don't know if you can see down here. Probably can't see down there. Hang on a minute. I have to do a little bit of twisting. Do that. Does that work? I sit here, edit up the videos and all this on the screens. I go over to the other desk, which is just over there. Hold on a second. Like that. I didn't know I was going to do this. I would have prepared this a lot worse. This is better than I imagined. And then, so that's in there. Oh, by the way, this is Julia's chair that she sits on when she's in the show. This is her chair, not this bit. But when she's not there, I use it there, you see. And then over here, I usually sit here and do lots of work on the computer, diddly-diddly-dee. This is the paperwork that was giving me frustration this morning. They were the swines. Oh, they were the swines. Right, enough of this gay banter. Let's leave that office affair. That is my front room, ladies and gentlemen. That is my front room there. I have now returned to the studio space. Get that bike in the wall in the hall. Yeah, that's my son Billy's. He goes out in that. It all comes to bits and fits in his little pocket when he arrives at shops. It's very clever. Don't know how he does it. There we are. Did you used to live there, Mark? Says Mike Stevens. What do you mean? John Berger, some books. Who would have thought? Yes. There's more books in the set here. You can't really see them very well, but there are some books there. So, I don't know about you, but I'm a bit knackered. That's my space. You've seen my kitchen before. You saw that the other day. That's my space. I don't have a sitting room that people can come and sit. I don't have any other space. I live and breathe what I do. And I appreciate everybody helping me out as and when they do. Just a little PayPal thing there, Richard Vobes, if you need to assist me. Because like the rest of you, I don't have a job. I mean, this is my job. This is what I do. Right, let's move on. How about now in this period of sitting about without nothing else to do? I imagine a lot of people are going down to the off license, probably getting a few bevies in, maybe going to the supermarket, getting some wine or whatever. Well, did you know you don't have to bother with that because you could make your own? Barry Stevens is a chef and he knows a thing or two about making wine. Barry, in our video box, has been making some wine and he's going to share the secrets with you now.
Hello everybody, Barry Stevens here, making a little video about wine making. Currently making some Black Forest Fruits wine. I've basically sanitized everything, including all the equipment that I use, because if you get an infection in the yeast, it will kill the yeast and destroy the fermenting process. I've got a potato masher there to mash the fruit. I've got a funnel, an airlock, a cork and a demijohn that the wine will go into. We've got our frozen Black Forest fruits there, lots of sugar, some ribena, and I've also got some yeast in some sugar and water there. It's a starter yeast just to activate it. And we've obviously got a big pan here to make the wine itself and to crush all the fruit down. Anyway, I'll get back to you in the next process. See you then. Okay, just about starting to boil now. Oh, put that down a bit. Just about starting to boil. It needs to boil for around 10 minutes. This ensures that all the bacteria is dead that could potentially destroy the yeast, and also to kill some chemicals that you find in soft drinks like ribena. Just on a note, if you're going to use ribena, use the proper ribena stuff, not the artificially sweetened stuff. I forgot to add, I've also added some lemon juice to it, and I've got a strong tea. I've made a strong tea. This is for tanning, and also it makes the flavour more full of the wine. You can see the yeast there starting to react. It's activated. I can't stress enough, if you're going to do this, to sanitize things very, very well, but also make sure you clean all your sanitizers off. I personally use Milton, which is a sterilizing fluid that they use for baby bottles. Anyway, I'll get back to you on the next stage. See you in a mo. Okay, I've added the wine mash. I've put it in some cold water to cool it down. You've got to cool it down as quickly as possible before you put it into the demijohn, because you obviously don't want to smash the glass, and also if it's too hot it will kill the yeast. Anyway, I'll get back to you when I have put the mix into the demijohn through this sieve. Get back to you soon. So we filtered all the fruit through this sieve and into a funnel, and then straight into here. I've got the airlock on, and soon the yeast will start turning the sugar into alcohol. At the moment it's very, very sweet like syrup, but that will dry as it goes on. I'll let you see the finished product when it's bubbling. See you in a mo. Okay, it started to ferment. You can see there where it's fermenting, and the airlock is now bubbling away. And in about 2 to 3 weeks it'll stop fermenting. I'll then leave it for another 3 weeks, and then it'll be ready to drink. I'll have to filter it into another bottle for it to age, but that'll be it. It'll be ready to go. Probably be about 5 or 6%. Some people call it vampire's blood. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Bye bye for now.
How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Make your own wine. Well done, Barry. That looks absolutely amazing. And do you know, I'd never thought that you could make wine from frozen fruit from the supermarket. What a brilliant idea. That's so clever. Because, you expect to go and buy fresh fruit and all the rest of it. But I guess, frozen fruit is fresh. It's been frozen. And you don't have to go and pick it and get all those pips and things. What an amazing thing. Thank you for the person who, out there in the world of Didgeridoo Land, said that I had a nice fire. Let's just check on my Essie. That's the Essie, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you can't see it terribly well. That's a shame. That's actually the Essie burning there. It needs to tilt up a bit. Yeah, that's a shame. I'll have to see if I can adjust it so we can see the Essie and make sure she's burning very nicely. That's made me thirsty, says Mystic. I lied. It's actually about 15 to 16%. Oh, is it? The second time we've hit 120 viewers. Oh, that's superb. Fantastic. Yes. I'll try and get an extra picture of that's my Essie in the kitchen, but you can't see it because I didn't leave the light on. I thought it would be clever. I obviously messed up there. Does anybody want to give us a call? Now's the time. If you want to give us a call before we move on to the next video, let me just put a little line through that so I know we've done that one, which is superb. If you want to give me a ring, the number to call is 0793 4746 790. You can call me now, and we will have a quick conversation before we move on to the next video and the next load of old nonsense that comes out of the Vobes gob. And there's plenty of it. Beach Writer 8 says another wine golden pale is Dandykin wine. Is it Dandykin? I never heard of that. Southern and made only from dandelion tops. Clear like a Chablis. Like a what? A Chablis. Chablis. Nice little Chablis. But sweet and wonderful light wine. Oh, nice. Okay. Barry says he wants to make gin. Don't you have to have a distillery to make gin? I think you have to... We have a phone call. We do have a phone call. Somebody loves the old Vobie, One-Eye Kenobi. Let's find out who that is. Hello there on the line.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Animals here.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, no, not too bad, actually. Not too bad at all. I mean, not bad. I mean, not to say too bad. I'm good. Why is it people say that? Why do people say, oh, not too bad? They're not bad. They're actually good. Why don't people be more positive and say, actually, I'm good. I'm very well. Maybe they do.
I don't know. Just how people are. I mean, around here, they say, are you all right? I mean, if you said no, what are they going to say then?
Well, that's a funny. It's a funny thing. That is a funny thing, isn't it? You say, are you all right? And you go, no, actually, do you know, I've just been diagnosed with cancer and my children have died. I'm feeling a bit gloom, but I've got a knobbly knee and it's sort of on the jip, and my arse seems to have dropped down a bit. It used to be up here, and I've got saggy moobs. But other than that, I'm pretty okay. It would be a bit
I know where you're coming from.
I wasn't actually claiming to have the saggy moobs myself, of course.
No.
But you do see people.
I can't recommend them.
No, I wouldn't. They don't make.
It's not a good look.
You haven't got them, I'm sure. You'll be a very Fritz Spricely man. You are.
Well,
whatever that is, a Fritz Spricely man. Something to aspire to. How's the cough, by the way?
It's a lot better, thank you. It's a lot better.
Fantastic. This is.
So we're looking good. We're looking all right now.
So go on.
Just a quickie.
Yes.
Solid fuel stoves. Since you're talking about your Essie.
Yes.
Which I do like the look of, to be honest.
Well, I'm going to put the light on. Hang on, just hold your horses there. Just can you? Do you know any poetry?
I wandered lonely as a cloud.
Keep going.
No, I can't keep going. I'll need somebody else to. Go on then. Uh-oh.
Yes, keep going. Keep going. You've got to cover, you see. You can't ring up the show and not cover.
Right, I'll cover.
There's the Essie.
I don't know what way. Oh, you're back again?
Yes, it'll take a couple of seconds before you see it, but there on the screen is a close-up of the Essie, actually part of the Essie. Anyway, it's the firebox is now on display, which is a little bit more interesting than my ugly face.
I really do like them. I've got a solid fuel stove in the front room. I've got a Morso Squirrel, which is
multi-burner.
Multi-burner.
What did you call it?
Danish multi-burner.
A Morso.
A Morso.
Morso.
Morso, yeah.
I thought you called it
very well known.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know it, but that doesn't
Morso
mean...
squirrel.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. Yeah. Why they call it that? It's got a picture of a squirrel on the side of it. But...
Is that the fuel that you use? You go out and you grab hold of some grey squirrels and just whack them in, woof, and they go up like that.
Red. It only works on red squirrels, unfortunately.
Oh, so yes, the fuel bills.
We don't like it very often. We don't like it very often.
No, don't get many of them. Where are you based again?
I'm based Nottingham.
Nottingham. Do you get many red
Near
squirrels
Nottingham.
in Nottingham? No, they've all been shot by blooming Robin Hood, haven't they? Robin Hood, and his merry men shot the squirrels dead, and he put him in his den. He burnt them in his what did you call it? A Morecambe? Morecambe Bay, was it?
Burnt him in his Morecambe Bay.
Yeah. Murky
Morecambe Wise.
Yes, that's it.
Burnt him in his Morecambe Wise.
Absolutely, yeah. So now, sorry, I was mucking about, like just for a moment, not because I'm very serious normally. So tell me about your solid fuel stove.
Right. Well, it's just one in the front room that I fitted a few years ago. But once we've had one, we couldn't do without them. I think they're lovely things.
They're lovely, and they give you a warmth that you cannot generate from radiators and North Sea gas.
Quite right, and they're like alive. You can sit there and look at the flame, and it's like watching the telly. Just as interesting as BBC.
Absolutely, and of course, more so because the repeats go on and on and on.
Oh yeah. Well, they can put anything they like on at the moment, and that's what they're doing, unfortunately.
But yeah.
Yes. What I was going to say to you, though, Richard, is
no, please do.
Why do you burn logs? Because that's the most expensive thing to do.
What else would you burn?
Well, I burn smokeless fuel.
Isn't that more expensive?
No, it lasts a long time. Honestly.
Does it? Honestly?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's not that expensive. I think it's cheaper than logs, to be honest, to buy. I mean, you know your bag of logs. What do you pay for a 1 metre square bag of logs?
1 metre square bag of logs about £65. Delivered.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you've got to fanny about with them, haven't you?
Oh, you've got to fanny. You've got to fanny about with them. You've got to store them up. You've got to store them because they're not always 100% or even 50% seasoned. So then you've got to keep them out there. You've got to find space for them. Then you've got to chop them up into bits of kindling, get them in the right size depending on how hot you want it or not hot you want it, whether it's overnight or undernight. There and then and all that kind of stuff. But I know. They do look nice. They do look nice. I will say that. Yeah. And we do burn a few at Christmas because it looks nice at Christmas. But generally speaking, we burn what's called new heat, which is quite large smokeless fuel. What is it? What is it? What is the actual thing?
Well, all smokeless fuels are a mixture of coal dust type stuff, and it includes things like cement dust and things like that in it. It sounds crazy, but it burns lovely and it looks lovely. It gives off a lot of heat, and it lasts for a long time. I mean, a bucketful will last all night.
Will it?
Yeah.
Will it? A bucketful?
Yeah. A bucketful, yeah.
When you say...
How big is the bucket? How big is the bucket?
Well, that's it. I mean, a skip. For me, it's a skip a night with the logs.
Yeah, you'll be getting through a lot of logs, I would think.
Oh, I do.
If you want to get it to roar a bit, if you want to get it to really burn, you're going to really use quite a few logs. But what I suggest is just go and have a look at it, smokeless fuel, have a look at New Heat, N-U-H-E-A-T,
yes,
and just read up on it. Now, give it a try. It's really worth it. You can buy them in bags for £12 for, how many kilograms is it? Is it 20 kilograms, something like that, 20 kilogram bag.
Smoke
yes.
less. But is it good for the environment?
Yes, it's smokeless.
Well, so, I mean, you said there was coal in it, so that's got to be bad, isn't it?
Well, I don't know in what state. It doesn't give any smoke off, so I don't know what else it gives
cement.
Off. Cement? Yeah, cement dust is in it.
Cement burns, does it? Cement?
Well, I suppose everything burns if it's hot enough, but at the end, when it's done, it can burn all night. Very little ash as well. Very little.
Yeah.
So, it was recommended to me by the local coal guy, and I tell you, I've been very, very pleased with it. That's all we burn now. It's so convenient. You just put a bucket on and forget about it all night. It's lovely. You get flames, everything you want.
Well, you know what?
Worth a try.
The great thing about these stoves is you can put a kettle on them, can't you, and make yourself a lovely cup of tea particularly if you've got some lovely tea from. Just one moment, please. One moment.
Millet's tea.
From the Tea and Coffee Company, the Kent and Sussex Tea and Coffee Company. He says Richard Smith has just dived in, you see, and I just noticed there he is. Salams, he says, from the tea plantation. So I just wanted to give them a big plug because they're very nice, and I've still got some of his. This is the last of my Christmas tea that he very kindly sent me. Richard, thank you very much for the tea.
The plug is in.
I've got the plug in. With any luck, another big box of tea will arrive. You see.
Right. Well, I'm not watching you. I'm just phoning you, so I'm not watching you at the moment.
Oh, you're not watching? I've been putting up the. I've been putting up.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it before, but.
Oh, all right, fair enough. Oh, just all that effort for nothing. All that effort.
Sorry. Well, what about all these other viewers that wanted to see it?
No, I'm doing it just for you, Chris, because I knew you had the coronavirus and you were on your last legs, and we didn't know how long you had there, and I thought I'll show you my Essie before you pop your clogs and end up being cremated in one. But clearly, clearly you're on the mend. So
I'm on the mend. Yes, it's too late now.
Yeah, so
I've gone past that. So is it real tea leaves then?
Is it real tea leaves? What, from the Kent and Sussex? Excuse me.
Yeah, is that what we're talking? Oh, is that what we're talking about? Are we talking tea bags?
We are talking. Well, these are tea bags, but these aren't just ordinary tea bags. These are eminently the nicest tea bags you can get because. This is This is Pluckley tea, and the great thing about them is you put them in a cup, and then and you add all your water, and you do it, and then you try to look for the tea bag. It's gone, because it's Pluckley tea. It's ghost-like. That's just that's a play on words. If you have to know that Pluckley is the most haunted village in the southeast. If you didn't know that, it doesn't really matter. But Richard Smith got that. If he's still watching.
That, no.
If he's still watching. Is Richard Smith still out?
I wonder what the bloody hell you're on about.
No,
there you go.
To be honest. No, they're lovely. It is very nice tea, and it is actually proper tea. It's not the sweepings off the floor. It is very nice. And I know that we have another purchaser of Richard's tea, Richard Smith's tea, the tea in Kent and Sussex, and somewhere around Pluckley Way tea. And that's Andy, not Andy Dalglish. It's what's his name? Andy Frierson.
George Typhoon.
Yeah, George Typhoon buys it in huge quantities and sells it, as does Mr. Tips, Mr. PG. Does Richard gone? Has he? I want to. Sorry, just to hold your horse there for a second. Richard, are you still out? Are you still out there? I've gone through all this advertising. If he's buggered off, I should be so upset. Just flopped in and went, "Oh, hello, I'm here." And it's probably got his DJ Ling going or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen his name go up since. Anyway, so you recommend New Heat?
Yes, I reckon New Heat. I highly recommend it.
Fantastic.
Highly recommend it.
Brilliant. I think
worth a try.
I will give it a try. And do you know, I'll make a video about it and bore the audience rigid by making a video about how I'm trying out this New Heat at 12. Have you seen the ones where they've got coffee logs? Ooh. They make them out of old disused coffee beans.
No,
have you seen that? Morrison's had some in there, but again, it was about 9 or 10 quid for about 3 of them, and I thought that's very expensive.
Yeah, that's it. You know, when you use it the way that you use it for your sort of main form of heating. Yes. You know, you've got to look at the whole thing in the round, don't you? Otherwise, it can be very, very expensive. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, lovely, but expensive. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is. I did this as a means to try and save money, but also I didn't want to give all my money to the big six. I'm very much somebody who would like to give money to local producers. And the thing about burning logs is there's a lovely little company that comes and delivers my logs. There's a nice lady that operates the crane and drops them in. There's a nice bloke on the phone who answers it, and it's a relatively small company. I don't know if they're still working at the moment. And trees are a thing that is sustainable because you can chop it down and it will grow back up, and you can chop it down, it will grow back up, and it doesn't get the hump. No, it gets barking mad, but it doesn't. I suppose it depends what logs you get, really. I mean, if you bought oak, you can't really chop that down to grow back up. What it will do, it'll take 30 years. Yes. Oak is not terribly quick one. Ash is a bit quicker.
There are other speedier ones, but
Yes,
but
that's right.
it's the overall plan. But my main thing is,
Yeah.
local companies
with you.
providing you with local stuff rather than the big six. That's really. I don't want to,
Yeah.
I'm not the sort of person who would go on, say, a public stream like on Facebook or YouTube and start spouting my views, trying to influence people. I wouldn't possibly do that at all.
No.
Because that would be wrong if I said that, if I, for example, said that everybody should go out and buy the Sussex tea and coffee and stuff, that would be totally wrong. But it is very good, by the way, and their website is available at tea-and-coffee.com. Give it a whirl. Try it against other teas. I don't actually know. Richard might not be working. I may be doing all that, and they may be furloughed.
Yeah, they probably are, yes. I must admit, I do like trying some property.
Oh,
Anthony, since you can remember when we were kids, that's all you got. You just got tea leaves and a tea strainer. Can you remember those tea strainers?
Oh, yeah. They make
all that type of thing. Tea actually made them in a teapot.
I do have property. I'm trying to sell my dad's house, but I can't get rid of it. Tea strainers, by the way, another little use for a tea strainer. If you've got an old tea strainer, brilliant use I found for it. If you stick a piece of tape on the back so that the dome is one side and you put tape over the thing, you take a lapel microphone, tap it on the inside, put a bit of furry on the inside.
I saw you do it.
Yeah.
I saw you do it.
Dangle it inside your jumper, you get wonderful sound when you're cycling along, and it takes away the wind. No good if the recorder isn't switched on, as I did in my video tomorrow, which is embarrassing. But there we are.
That's all right. Nobody's perfect at that time in the morning.
And absolutely, not at 7:30. Now then, I've got to go and show some more videos. We've got some fantastic videos. But before we go, I'm going to ask you to choose the next video. Who would you like? Let me give you a choice, Chris. No. We can have Mark from Oz. Okay. We can have Richard McGowan, who has some peregrine falcons for us to have a look at.
Well,
we've got Wendy Lowry with an interesting tree. We mentioned trees just now. Or Gabriel.
I like trees.
Gabriel is on the Somerset levels, or Mike has little Bella being made ready for his walk.
Well, I've got to say, much as I love trees and what have you, if I had my choice, it'd be the peregrine falcons.
Peregrine falcons. Peregrine falcons.
Peregrine falcons.
That's it. We'll have some of them. Thank you so much, Chris, for calling in.
No problem. Catch you later, Richard.
Yeah, take care. All the best.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was lovely. I can't sign him out now. That was lovely, Chris. And we were talking about it's still going. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Oh, lovely. But we're going to have the peregrine falcons from Richard McGowan. Let's get into the video box. And here they are. A little moment of peregrine. Where are you, Richard? Oh, there he is. Little moment of that whilst I... Michael Angel wants those as well. Oh, everyone's choosing. But don't panic, we'll get to them. We're only at 5 to 9, so we've got plenty of time. He says that, there is no set time to finish this, but we all do need to go to bed at some point. Yes, here we are, the lovely one and only Richard McGowan and some peregrine falcons. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? The peregrine falcons there. Marvellous stuff. Don't they look delightful? Very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Majestic. Very majestic birds they are. How lovely is that? I just want to quickly check on something now because I put the kettle on. There it is. I put the kettle on and I want to make sure I want to know when the kettle boils because I'm getting a bit thirsty. Obviously during this show, you do get a bit thirsty on a Tuesday. So I'm just going to put the sound up there in the kitchen. We should hear when that's boiling. That's the Essie. The thing on the left-hand side next to the Essie is actually a ironing board, just so you know. But I don't think it's burning at the moment. What have we got here? Right, okay. A little message coming in there. I thought that was interesting. Magnificent Birds of Prey. That was a falcon. Marvellous. It's a sad film, says Barry. But it has a lot of life truth. I thought it was lovely. I thought it was, he says, beautifully animated. I thought that was real life, to be honest with you. Richard, I thought, had managed to capture that absolutely superbly, which is nice. So Ed Loud says, aren't they the fastest travelling animal known to science in a dive? I don't know. That maybe they are. Maybe they are. I think we should go straight down to Oz whilst I'm waiting for the tea to go. I think we'll go and we'll catch up with Mark. Now, Mark is down there. Where is Mark 1? Mark, oh, there he is. Mark 1. Mark, this is in 2 files because I haven't been able to join them together as such. So we'll just get the first one, then we'll go straight into the second. This is down in Australia, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, Richard. I don't know if you can hear me because the waves are making quite a bit of sound. As you can see, I'm currently self-isolating on a beach in Melbourne, suburb of Hampton. And I thought I'd let everyone have a look around. Bear with me because I'm not very good at using this. It's the first time.
Sorry, sending a personal message there. That's not allowed. This is the second part of Mike's video.
As you can see, it's very similar to Worthing. I know quite well because I live in Horsham. And over there is a submarine. This was sunk World War I submarine. And some interesting rock formations, of which I have got absolutely no idea what type of rock that is. Perhaps someone can tell. Any geologists amongst you? It's actually autumn here now, so it's getting quite cold. It's around 70 degrees today, which when you think it's got to like 115, it's actually quite a nice temperature. In the distance, I don't know if you can know that out, that is a cruise ship which is empty, because I presume they've started to dump these vessels where they can because people are unable to go on cruises at the moment. Anyway, have a nice day. Over and out.
Fantastic. There we are. A bit of Down Under. Certainly very different to Worthing Beach. Thank you so much, Mark, for sending that in. That's really good. I'm sorry I couldn't stitch the two together, but we got the overall picture, which is absolutely wonderful. Hang on a minute. I've got to just did I turn that one off? I can't remember now. There we go. Let me turn that off. Now, I need to very quickly just double check something here, because I can hear a sound. I don't know if you can hear this sound. Something seems to be happening in the kitchen. Yes, I think it's time to go in the kitchen and quickly make a cup of tea. So if you'll just excuse me for one moment, I'm just going to put the kettle on, but I need to make... Oh, and of course, I've got to take my special tea bags with me. So I've got a tea bag there. You would think that this has all been planned, wouldn't you? But I can promise you, this is all on the cuff. So let's go and make a cup of tea. Out we go, and into the kitchen. Let's just put our camera up a little bit. Oops. Hang on a minute. Hold your horses. There we go. And we're actually in my kitchen. And you've seen me be in the kitchen before. I'm going to take this cup here, which has a fine picture of me on the back of it. We just take one of Richard Smith's lovely teas from the Tea and Coffee Company, and we're going to add some nice hot water into the tea. Hope I've got the microphone up. I've no idea. Onto the Essie. Oh, listen to that sizzle. It's nice, isn't it? And get some milk and spoon. So I can't normally do this on the show, ladies. Is that a bit high? I feel that's probably a bit high. Let's just lower you down a bit. There we go. I feel that was a bit high. Slosh that round, because normally you would brew it for a certain special amount of time. But what I tend to do when I'm making my tea, and I know you'll find this absolutely gripping, is I put the milk in before I get rid of the tea bag. Yeah, I still feel that's just a tad high. Let's just move you down that way a bit. Shove that in there. That feels better. And that's a nice colour. Get rid of the tea bag. Straight into the dog's mouth. And chuck the spoon away. And we go back to the studio. Well done, Essie. You've done a good job. In fact, just going to see how hot the water is. Oh yes, the water's nice and hot for my annual bath. So we can come back into the studio with a nice cup of tea, and there we are. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, you didn't expect that, neither did I. I've been running around a lot on today's show, by the way. Yeah, if you feel it's been worth anything, you might want to buy me a bag of tea. There we go. PayPal.me@Vobes, etc., etc., etc. Oh, obviously Richard Vobes does what? Live action show. And there's a podcast if you want to listen to a good podcast, the Veg Grower podcast, if you're stuck for things to do in your garden. Whew. Shall we see if anybody wants to make a phone call to the Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi? You're very welcome to do so. 0793 4746 790. I think we can shut the door now and don't get up. Stay down there. Give us a call on the show. Just to let you know, whilst you're debating if you're going to ring in, Wendy Lowry we still have to hear from, and Gabriel and Mike. I'm hoping that we get time to do these in the show. Just looking, it's 9:05. We should be able to squeeze them all in People have been so kind making their videos, and it really is good. And if you fancy doing it and having them on the show, please do. It is what, you have your phone in your pocket. It's very easy. Just doesn't have to be terribly wrong. Even you can just send a message. Hi, Richard. I'm just doing my walk. I'm here in Scunthorpe. It's a very nice place. I'm playing on the One-Arm Bandits. I'm having a lovely time. I've just won £100,000. Yeah, I'm not going to share any of it with you, and probably won't watch the show because I'm going on a cruise on my own, self-isolating in the Atlantic Ocean or the Mediterranean or somewhere nice, Indian Ocean, I don't know, wherever you want to go. Can you make a cup of tea in the style of Kenneth William? Oh, no, I'm mucking about. How are you? Well, of course, they laughed, didn't they? They laughed. No, I couldn't possibly do that. That would be silly. I love the fridge. It looks almost as old as mine. Yes, Ed, it is a very old fridge. Everything in my house is pretty much second-hand, apart from to do with the video making. Everything else is like second, third, ancient hand. Quality demo, Galloping Gourmet. Yes, I remember the Galloping Gourmet. Do you remember the Galloping Gourmet? They were the days. God, just a ghost opened your door. Faden says he thinks your house is haunted. Yeah, it is a bit haunted. Did it? What? Hang on, we can go back in. Oh yeah, look, there is. Nobody in there. It's like a security camera, isn't it? It's like a little bit of a security camera. 125 views. The views are going up. Isn't that amazing? People watch a man make a cup of tea. Nobody's rung, so that's your chance. Muffed it. Had your chance. Muffed it. As James Robinson Justice said in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang when he was being interviewed for the Toot Sweets. Toot Sweets sound like what they are. Something, something, something in a lemonade jar. La da 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 dum. We think, or something like that. Anyway, enough of that. Let's. I tell you what we'll do is I think we'll go to Wendy Lowry. We're coming to Gabriel. Don't panic. Wendy Lowry's got a very interesting tree. Now I know what this tree is. At least I'm pretty much convinced. But can you identify the tree for the lovely Wendy? That's what we want to find out. Where are you, Wendy? I'm just trying to find where I've put you. There we are, on the special magic buttons. Let's see if you can identify the tree that Wendy is looking at.
Hello, Richard. Hello, everyone. Right, I'm back in my local churchyard at Old Swinford, and I've noticed these trees that all seem to have grown so close together that they almost look as if they're one. And in the middle of them, you can just peer through the gap there, there is a tomb. Now I'm sure the trees surely must have been here before that, but they appear to be one, but surely they can't be. But I thought they were very unusual. They're very old. If we go, oh, can you hear? Did you hear the church bell striking 2:30? So anyway, it's just a quick little video to show you this. I thought it might interest some people. There's a tree fallen there, but right in the middle is the tomb, completely enclosed by these trees. That's it then. Hope you found it interesting, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.
Well, I say Linda Kane was absolutely spot on there. It was a sycamore tree. You could see because there were little sycamore leaves coming out at the bottom, and I believe sycamores sucker. I think sycamore trees sucker. And if that's not true, then I can soon find out by a quick reaching for a book here called Trees in the... This show is going really well. There must be... Is there like a full moon or something? Sycamore. I bet sycamore isn't... it's probably not in here. Wait a minute. I'm just looking for a sycamore. Sycamore, sycamore. Here we go. Sycamore, where are you? Sycamore. This is the... hang on, I can do this a different way because I brought the webcam back in now. Hang on a minute. Let's take that off. Come back in here. Come back there. Come back down here. Here we go. Look. Sycamore, where is it? Sycamore is there. That's the sycamore leaf. And in the video, there was the sycamore leaf was there. And also, I think sycamore sucker, which means that the roots kind of go underground and come back up. So there probably was only one tree, and it's sort of... So it probably is part of the same tree, basically. The same genetics. But how fantastic is that? No, definitely not a yew. So I think that's it. Are they sycamores, says Leslie Couch? Yes, that's right. Looks like somebody planted those trees like that on purpose. I'm not sure. I'm probably what really happened is that the sycamore helicopter seed landed, started to grow into a tree, and maybe, you know, suckers came out, and they all came out from the stem. I don't think that they are like hazel that have stalls. I may be wrong. We're going to look it up because it'll be in here. Sycamore, let's have a look to see if we can find the index. Hang on a second. S-Y, aren't you there? Sycamore 60, page 60. Oh yeah, it's just give me a picture of a sycamore, you fool. That's no good. Hang on, isn't there a sycamore? 74, page 74. You hate it when it does that. It's page 74. 74. Other native trees. Yes, not 74 then. 97. Maples. Yes, because it's part of the maples, a sycamore. It's part of the maple family. 105, maybe that is it, where it's got some info on the 105. I can always find it just very quickly. 105. Sycamore, here we go. It's always the last one to find. Just give you a bit of blurb of that. The sycamore tree is an alien maple, Acer pseudoplantus, which now far outnumbers the native field maple, known to Gerard in the late 16th century as the rare great maple, planted for its shade on nobleman's estate. It soon became a fashionable tree. It was thought to have been a fig mulberry called Sycamorus in the Bible, which climbed to watch Christ ride into Jerusalem, apparently on a sycamore. And people wanted to have it near their houses. It was found to provide good timber and firewood and good shelter from winds. It grows quite quickly, as far as I know. The sap bled from the trunk, used to be used in making ale, with a great saving on malt, but I do not know how much this is influenced the choice. I'm not quite sure what that is. It now grows and reproduces everywhere in the British Isles, as far north and as far west as you can find any trees. The most exposed situation. A lot of people don't like the sycamore because it's there's just too many of them. Anyway, that's about it. So yes, you start with one, but you end up with hundreds of them, says Andrew Sargent. That's quite right. There we are. Sycamores are weeds of the tree world. But we went, says Lara, we went for our daily walk and we came across pink forget-me-not. Pink forget-me-nots. I love wildflowers and forget-me-nots are my favourite. Didn't know they could be that colour. Anyone else seen pink forget-me-nots? So, yeah, let Lara know if you've seen them. That would be superb. So thank you, Wendy. Thank you for that. That was good. That was a nice little test in tonight's show. It's been a good show, wasn't it? Right, we're just going to plough through the videos now because we are fast coming towards the end of the show and I want to get through them because people have made the effort. Now, Gabriel. Remember Gabriel? He gave us a lesson on how to fix your bike or check your bike over before you go out cycling. Lovely Gabriel has been out and about on the Somerset levels. And Gabriel, I don't know if you're watching, Gabriel, but if you are... After this is over, when this is over... No, hang on, does it go? After this is over... I can't remember. It's an old wartime song, is it? When this is over... Anyway, it doesn't matter. When this is over, I would like to come down and meet you and go for a cycle ride with you on the levels. I'll try and put my bike in the car somehow. On the Somerset levels and have you take me around and show me a few things. Very interesting. This is part 1 and part 2. So let's go over... and have a look at the part 1, Gabriel on the Somerset levels on his bicyclette.
You find me out here this afternoon on the Somerset levels on a beautiful sunny day. So I'm taking my hour of exercise on my bike, and I thought I would bring the camera along and show you where we are. I'm now about just under 2 miles outside of Glastonbury, and this field that's just coming into view from the right here is the site of what was Glastonbury Lake Village. The village, which existed on stilts in the water, was pretty much where those trees are you can see in the distance over there. So a quick stop by the side of the road here because we've come across a pillbox. Just having a look inside. And it's by the side of one of the drainage ditches. These drainage ditches run across for miles, carrying the water away. Without these, I'd be standing underwater. Another feature of the levels are these paths which run between the fields, often straight as a ruler, often for several miles. And there's one going off down there which heads off across the levels there. The drainage ditches that we looked at earlier on are controlled at various points across the levels by these remote stations. You can see the motor which controls the paddle and the receiver at the top, and this is all controlled from a central office miles away from here, where the levels of the water across the entire area are constantly monitored, and these gates are opened and closed in order to keep that level constant.
Marvellous. You didn't know that, did you? That is what regulates the levels of the little... I thought they were called rhines. Are they called rhines, Gabriel? I remember because I made a film down at Western Zoyland, which is on the Somerset levels, about the Duke of Monmouth, the Battle of Bridgewater, which took place in wait for it, 1685. Thank you, brain. Did you see the? I didn't even use my thinking fingers, and that was about the Duke of Monmouth and the battle, and they were fighting over the Rhines. I'm sure they called them Rhines, R-H-I-N-E-S or R-I-N-E-S. I can't remember exactly what they called it, but. It was something like that. Now, in the studio we have bonbon biscuits, or bourbon biscuits, I beg your pardon. Lovely bourbon biscuits, because you always need a nice bourbon biscuit. There is one to go in your tea, which is delicious. I have to say, absolutely delicious. So. Just so we know. But we haven't got time for bourbon biscuits, ladies and gentlemen. For we got part 2 of Gabriel's cycle ride to navigate through.
We've now reached the Marshes Visitor Centre out here on the levels. We're about 3 to 4 miles from Glastonbury. This would normally be where I would stop for a cup of tea and a cake, just over there. And you can see there's a lot of experimental archaeology going on. They've built a Roman building together with a Saxon hall. And over here, they're now building a roundhouse to replace an ancient roundhouse that used to be on site. We have now arrived at the Shatwick Heath Nature Reserve, which is a wetland preserve for birds and animals. Also the site of the Sweet Track there. The line you see running across there, the purple and blue line, is the Somerset and Dorset Railway, which forms the backbone of this and Ham Wall Nature Reserve, which we'll visit later. Like everything else on the levels, straight lines rule. As you can see, the line of the track is straight as an arrow through here. To the left, you can see this wet drainage ditch. This drainage ditch was originally the Glastonbury Canal, and the railway ran alongside the canal pretty much all the way to the station up there in Glastonbury. This is one of the many lakes formed by digging of peat on the levels, which are now part of the Wildfowl Trust area. You can't see them, but there are many birds and things that flap and squawk and hoot and do various other noises. I know absolutely nothing about them, sadly. No, the aliens haven't landed. This is the latest hide to be built out here on the levels. And very nice it is too, although closed due to the situation. Okay, so now we're now on the RSPB section of the walk, hand wall, and this is one of the observation stands that has been built. This area in front of me here is where in the spring and in the autumn the starlings murmurate. If you've never seen murmuration of starlings, then look it up on Google, because it is awe-inspiring. Out here there are millions and millions and millions of starlings all flying around together at once, creating weird swirling mass of movement. It's just incredible. You have to see it to believe it. And that brings us back to Glastonbury. There's the tour in the distance, and you can see the village or the town nestling in the bottom left hand there by the church. And here we are, back in the centre of Glastonbury.
So much to see around Glastonbury and the surrounding area on the levels. Wasn't that fantastic, Gabriel? Thank you so much. That was so interesting and also so informative. And I definitely want to come. I'm sure the lovely Julia will want to come back. She'll want to go back to Glastonbury for a second time. Absolutely. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Thank you for doing that. And the murmuration, wasn't the murmuration amazing? That was absolutely amazing. I'm just, stunned at how those birds managed to get those superb patterns. Just outstanding. I'm afraid I'm having that. Cute. My next bourbon biscuit. So, ladies and gentlemen, last chance to call the Vobes. Got one more video, which is from Mike Dixon. Shouldn't have done that now, I can't talk. Who needs the BBC, by the way? Who needs mainstream television when you've got the Vobovision? When you've got Vobovision in front of you, you've got you lot making the videos, me hosting it all, the lovely Julia coming in when we're not on lockdown, filling that on the laptop, which is quite great. You don't need anything else, do you? For an hour and a half every night? My goodness, how does it work? We have somebody calling in to help the Vobes out whilst he has his tea and biscuits. Hello to you.
Hello, it's Gabriel.
Hello, Gabriel. That was so interesting.
Thank you very much.
Really,
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Really enjoyed that. And it was, I'm not saying I didn't enjoy everybody else's, of course, but the Somerset levels is, I've been on part of it, as I was mentioning before, and then Julia and I have been to Glastonbury. I'd never been before, 2 years ago, I think it must have been now. Fascinating, and we didn't, we were there for 3 days, and we did the tour, and we did a Gog and Magog, and we, did a few basic normal stuff. But I
saw the videos, yeah.
Clearly, so much more to see.
Oh, there was a load. I mean, we are particularly blessed with it around here. I mean, I one of my favourite rides is I cycle to the seaside, so I cycle from here to Burnham, and Burnham on Sea. You can cycle pretty much on lanes like that. You don't really need to go on main roads. So it's and Western Supermare is another good ride you can go on.
And presumably in the season, full of cyclists and holidaymakers.
Oh yes, very much so. And in fact, there's a lot out there today. When I was out earlier, there are many people cycling. I think a lot of people are turning to cycling as their form of exercise, which is a good thing, because You
Well, you can
also
get further.
find-
Sorry, I'm just thinking one of the thing might be why they're turning to it, because you can go further than you can when you just walk round your own house. You know, the block.
True. That's true. The other thing is, and it's interesting, I've been to Europe cycling as well, and the drivers there have a much healthier attitude towards cyclists in Europe than
Right.
they do. In fact, the whole infrastructure, as you know, having been to it yourself, the whole infrastructure over there is better. There's cycle paths everywhere. You know, it's just better. I'm hoping, because I've noticed since this coronavirus thing, the drivers seem to be a little bit more bike friendly. Maybe they're out on their own bikes now. I don't know, but I'm hoping that is something that will come out of this.
Yes.
You know, maybe there'll be a bit less of a us and them between cyclists and drivers, because there does seem to be that in this country.
What do you
very
think?
pronounced.
I was thinking. I was on my bike this morning, and exactly the same thought went through my mind, that people were a bit more patient. And do you know what I thought was? There's so fewer vehicles on the road that when they've got past me, they can, speed up again.
Yes.
So, whereas when there's lots of cars, it's like, it's just another obstacle to be stuck behind. Whereas there's so little now on the roads that actually a bike is less of an obstacle. And of course, they can get past you so much easier because there's less traffic coming the opposite direction.
That's true. That's very true.
So maybe drivers are more relaxed because there's fewer things to get them frustrated and
irate.
Yes, irate. Exactly.
Absolutely.
The other thing I've noticed, and I was saying this to the lovely Julia, and then you tell me what you think about this, because when I was on my bike and I was looking at things, I was coming back from having done my filming and stuff, and I looked and I thought everything looks so much clearer and sharper.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, why is that? And then I realised we don't see the pollution because it's sort of transparent, but it's not quite transparent. It's there, and because there's less particulates and what have you in the atmosphere, everything suddenly looks more vibrant, more sharp, more alive.
And quieter. And imagine in a few years' time when we have no more petrol engines and everything's EV, how wonderful it's going to be.
It will be, absolute, yeah. Well, I mean, we'll all get knocked off our bikes, of course, because we won't hear the cars coming up behind us.
Well, they have to make a noise now below a certain speed. They have to have like these noise generators on them, believe it or not.
I know, isn't it?
One of them sounds like a Peter Gabriel choir. I think, is it the Zoe?
Is it?
And so it sounds like a Peter Gabriel choir going, ah, as it comes up behind you. You think, is this divine intervention or is it a car behind me?
Because it's amazing when you're a cyclist, you rely on your ears so much, don't you? You know if there's something behind. I mean, you double check obviously with your one eye. With my one eye, I do. But if you hear a car, you kind of know, and you've experience tells you roughly how far behind it is. You are going to use the visuals, but you're not going to want it. Whereas if it's absolutely dead quiet, subconsciously you can have a bit more of the road space. But if you've got an electric car with no noise coming up behind you,
although they do still make road noise.
I suppose the
The
tyres
wheels still make road, and the tyres make a noise. Yeah, they still do make a noise.
like the old milk floats. Without the rattle. Yes. How many people out there remember milk floats?
How many people remember Two Gun Ted from Teddington who drove the Baker's van?
Ah, yeah, good old Benny Hill.
Yeah, he's the one.
But
yeah, the reason I rang up was basically great minds think alike. I was going to invite you and Julia down to come back and come and do some bike riding on the levels. So what I'll do is I'll text you my number to your Vobes phone call thing that I'm talking on now, and you'll have my number, and we'll get in touch and sort it out when all the madness is over.
Yeah, please do, because I want to get Julia a bicycle.
Yes.
She's got a bicycle, but it sounds like it's a bit of a crap hill thing. And I was talking to her about it, and I thought, right, okay, she does a lot for me, and I never pay her. And so I thought I'd buy her a bicycle. Now, you work in a bicycle shop.
I do.
So maybe we can get together and we can talk about what kind of bike would be the perfect thing.
Yes, and maybe I can chuck some staff discount at the deal.
Well, that wasn't the reason. Actually, I was honestly, truly, that wasn't the reason I was thinking about it. But I just thought what the range is, and
Yes, of course.
and you know, clearly you'd have a good idea. That
Yeah,
would be
absolutely.
great. Of course, don't tell her.
No.
This is going to be a
No,
surprise.
it's a secret.
Yeah,
No,
oh
don't
yeah,
tell her.
yeah. No,
I mean, who else would know? Nobody knows.
nobody would know. Nobody
That's
would.
okay.
Nobody out there would be chipping in to help pay for it. Of course.
No, they
No.
wouldn't, would they?
They-
through your Patreon link or
It-
your
it-
YouTube, your PayPal link.
Yeah, they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know how to do it. They wouldn't
That's
have.
a good PayPal link. That when it pops up on the screen, it looks quite artistic. I quite like that.
Oh, do you? It's on the screen now, actually.
By the way, when I watch people, I watch people like Foxes Afloat, Floating Our Boat, Richard, and if you're there, and
Richard and Fran.
you're both so glad you're over your illness, Richard. It's amazing that these people, when they have a live calling, people are paying. They have like super chats, and they
Yes.
can raise 10, 15, 30. Why don't you do that?
Well, I do a little podcast for my patrons called The Naked Englishman, and I was discussing just that thing this afternoon, and I would feel a bit embarrassed that people would have to pay to talk to me.
No, they don't have to, but they can if they want.
Yes, well, I suppose that's true, but I always think that people can, if they want to support me, they'll support me in the ways that are there. But maybe it would be an idea. But I don't want people to feel guilty about it.
No. But then, you wouldn't have to ask, would you? Because at the moment, you have to put that thing up and say, feel free to contact. People could just do that when they want to. If they do want to, they do. If they don't want to, they don't. And I've never seen anybody feeling guilty when I'm watching the Foxes or anybody like that, and they got people from America giving them $50 a time, and some people give them $1 or a pound. It's.
Well, I know I'm funny about money. I mean, I love what I do, and I'll give everything away just to do it. But obviously, I've got bills, and there are things to do. And
you still have to go next door and buy food occasionally.
I do. And do you know
you do.
they don't let me take it for nothing?
No, they don't. The swine.
They charge me
like
I mean, I say, don't you know who I am? And they say, we know
Absolutely.
exactly who you are, and so that's why we're charging you double.
Yeah. No, I'm sure people would.
It would be interesting. I think you have to have over a certain number of subscribers, and I don't think on the Vobes show I have enough subscribers as yet.
Oh, is that what it is?
I think you need at least 1,000.
I'll have to get a subscriber count up then.
Yeah.
If everybody off the Bald Explorer subscribed to here.
Yeah. Well,
that
that would be it.
That would be it, wouldn't
be
it?
good. Yeah. No, definitely. Thank you for that. Raising it. We see. I didn't raise it. You raised it, which means we can discuss it, which is nice.
Absolutely.
The sordid thing about money. There we go. Apparently Turbo Stream says Google takes 30% off the super chat money.
Do they?
30%.
That's naughty.
I mean, PayPal takes something like 4%, I think it is, or 3 or 4%, which is fair enough because they're facilitating, and I don't mind that. They're facilitating. I use Patreon, but I don't promote Patreon because Patreon take a cut. It then goes through PayPal. They take a cut, so you end up with more or less 8 or 10% of what the person wants to. So the more people can just knock on my door and thrust cash into my hand, the better, really.
It's like being in the music business, isn't it? Everybody's taking their cut, and the person actually creating something
gets
bugger all.
That
right. Seems wrong somehow.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Totally wrong.
But if I can raise the cash to help Julia out and buy a bike, and then we'll come. That would be fantastic.
Absolutely.
We'd love to do that.
That'd be good. Let's sort that out.
Yeah, we'd get out of this Corona thing, and we're over there.
Yeah, I've shot another film today. You saw me at the Lake Village. I'm going to do just a little short 2-minute thing on the Lake Village.
Please do. Love it.
Yes.
Love it. Really, really good. Everyone's been making some fantastic. This is so. I can't tell you how emotional it is that people out there are making stuff, sending them to me of all people, and we share it out there. It's an incredible thing. I just find this amazing, and I love the fact that everybody's on board with it.
Yeah, it is brilliant. It is brilliant. I think you started something here.
So it's really cool. And we'll do at some point some sort of hints and tips things, but I don't want to be prescriptive and tell people how to do it because, hints and tips always help. But anyway, Gabriel, we're running to the end of the show, and we've got to get little Bella on the screen.
Oh, I'll get out of your way.
No, no.
I'll text you my details after this call to this number.
No, don't text it to this number.
Email you?
Email me, richard@vobes.com, because
I'll do that.
to be honest with you, I don't look at it. The phone goes off. All I do is receive the calls for the show. It's not my personal phone, so I never see anything else.
Okay, Richard@Vobes, I'll do that.
Yeah, that's great. Take care, Gabriel.
Bye-bye, all.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Julia.
Bye-bye. Thanks very much. Oh, well, that was lovely. That was fantastic. Now, Mike Dixon, are you out there still? Because I'd like you to call me, Mike Dixon. I want to show your video, but there's no sound on your video. At least I don't think there was any sound on it. I mean, I couldn't find any sound on it. I can hear that you're there doing stuff, but I want you to talk me through. Now, I know that you won't. You won't be able to see the screen. It'll be 30 seconds or so later. But in order to make this work, I want to put this on. But I'd like you to be able to tell us about what the stuff that you do in this video, because on its own, it sort of doesn't stand the test. So I know, Mike, if you're out there, you'll give me a call to end the show, because we're late now. We're late, and I've got a bath waiting for me. The Essie has been on. I can't show you the Essie now because I brought the webcam right back in. But Mike Dixon, give us a call if you're still up. He may have nodded off and had his cocoa and gone to bed with little Bella, but I'm hoping. We'll give him a couple more minutes. I suppose you want the number, 0793 4746 790. It must be on your phone by now. We'll just give him a couple of minutes. But if he doesn't ring up, I'll show you the film, and there'll be silence. Silence of the Bella. Here he is. This has got to be Mike. This has got to be. Hello, Mike. Thank you so much for calling.
All right.
Yes, I'm all right.
Good man.
We'll go straight into this if we can, because time is precious and people have got their lives to lead. They don't want to see this bald bloke.
Yeah.
For all that. Hang on, let me just get into the Vobes thingamajig. Now I'm assuming everybody can still hear us. So
right.
I'm going to play. Where is your video gone? Here it is. Mike, right over on that side. Yeah, because you didn't send us. I was thinking, has the sound dropped off? But it was just you doing the stuff that you do.
Yeah.
So
it was mainly my wife. She was she's getting Bella ready to go out. I thought, my God, we're never going to go.
So tell me. So you won't see this as we do it, but I'm playing it now. So you've got Bella having her eyes wiped.
Yeah, Bella was up on the bed, on the bed. So my wife Helen was getting her ready. So a lot of these Bichon Frise dogs, because of their white fur, they get these kind of brown marks, like tear marks on their eyes.
Oh yeah, we can see that. So that's just cleaning it up.
It's like makeup removal wipes, that the ladies use.
So is this sort of vanity then? It's vanity.
It's crazy. I'm ready to take Bella for her morning walk.
Yes.
and
she's being preened.
Yeah, and she's had a little bit of hair. And this afternoon she's had a hair trim, because we can't take her to the dog parlour.
No, of course.
It's all closed up.
Yes.
So if you want, I could send you a video of that as well.
What, of the closed up dog parlour?
Yeah, no, Helen, she bought her and using her a hair trimmer.
Well, if you do, talk us through as you video it. But she's very loving, isn't she? Look at her; she just tolerates everything.
Yeah, she's very, very. And even today with this, trimming her hair, with these shears, she was very, very. She didn't try and bite us or anything. She just lapped it up, really.
She trusts you explicitly.
But it's crazy. I thought I'd share it because it's just so crazy, isn't it? Getting a dog ready to go for a morning walk.
Absolutely. Well, that was it. We've played through now. So thank you for calling and just talking us through that. That was really helpful. That was very kind.
Great.
Keep the videos coming, Mike. We do love them.
Lovely. And I see earlier you had I think it was 126 people viewing.
Oh my goodness, did we really?
That's fantastic, isn't it?
That is amazing. It's growing. And tonight, I don't know if, what the chat room has been like, but I'll have a debrief with Julia later. But we don't seem to have had all the idiots that we had last night, which is really good.
That's good. Yeah, you don't want that hassle, do you?
No, we certainly don't.
And it's good that you got Julia and Judith helping out behind the scenes. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, that's right.
I made a joke earlier, but they didn't know if it was me or one of these trolls. But it was me.
It was
It
you.
was one of my silly jokes.
No, well, that's fine. Julia told me, actually, I think people caught me doing a personal message. She'd actually said, actually, that was Mike, don't panic.
Yeah,
so she knows.
Because we never, people say, oh, how do you feel? And they just say, oh, I'm fine, thanks.
Yes.
But nobody really in Britain, in England, ever says the honest truth, do they?
No, we all lie, don't we, to make ourselves look good. But actually, what we want is a bit of sympathy from people.
And we could be having a hell of a day, and not be feeling very good mentally or physically, and we just say, oh, I'm fine, thanks.
Yeah, fine, thanks. No, nothing to worry about, but, I might be in hospital tomorrow. Anyway, Mike,
I'll leave you be.
Take care, look after yourself.
Yeah, take care.
All
Keep
the best.
safe.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, that was kind of Mike to ring in there at the end for that. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. We've. I'm sorry I've dragged you on for an hour and 40 minutes. That is rather a long show, but it's been fun, hasn't it? We've had a good show. It's been great. I've run around a bit, worked harder on this show probably than any others for a while, but it's been superb. The videos have been absolutely amazing. Please keep them coming. I will do my best to get them on. Information on how to make them and send them in the description on YouTube for this channel. But I'll be back again at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Yes, it's relentless, this thing. Doesn't stop. Thank you so much to the lovely Julia and to the lovely Judith for the moderation. And thanks to you guys for coming along. And thank you for ringing up during the show. It has been really great. And take care. Have a good evening, the rest of the evening. Have a great day tomorrow. And I will see you when I come back on. If you want to listen to the English journey, that's on tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. There'll be a video, of course, on the Board Explorer. But that's it for me. Thank you so much. Take care. Good night. Good night. Have fun. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.